7 points clear, 8 games to go, and Manchester City are no longer in control of their own destiny. Welcome to Isaac Arsenal Update. I am Isaac, and if you are an Arsenal supporter watching this right now, I need you to sit down, take a breath, and truly appreciate what is happening in this Premier League title race, because what unfolded on Wednesday night was enormous. Before we get into every detail of this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, give this video a like, because it genuinely helps this channel reach more Arsenal supporters around the world, and stay with me until the very end, because I am going to give you the full tactical, mathematical, and emotional breakdown of exactly where we stand, what we need, what City need, and why, and for the first time in a very long time, the title is truly in Arsenal's hands. Let us get into it. Wednesday night, the Amex Stadium in Brighton. Arsenal went there needing 3 points. Not a performance, not a statement, not a beautiful, flowing, attacking masterclass. Just 3 points, and Mikel Arteta's side delivered exactly that. Bukayo Saka, 1 goal, 1 win, job done. It was not the most expansive Arsenal display of the season. It did not need to be. After dropping sloppy points at Brentford and Wolves in February, the most important thing was to get back to winning. And Arsenal did that in 3 consecutive Premier League matches now. 3 wins on the bounce. Quiet, professional, resilient. The hallmarks of a genuine title-winning side. But here is the moment the night truly changed. While Arsenal were grinding out that 1-0 win on the South Coast, Manchester City were at the Etihad Stadium hosting Nottingham Forest, a side scrapping for their Premier League survival, and Pep Guardiola's men could not beat them. City led, City threw it away. City led again, City threw it away again. 2-2. 2 drop points at home to a relegation-threatened Forest side, and that, right there, is the moment this title race shifted on its axis. Let me give you the numbers, because this is where it gets genuinely exciting. Arsenal currently sit top of the Premier League on a points total that puts them 7 points clear of Manchester City. 7 points, with 8 games remaining for the Gunners and 9 for City. But crucially, City have only 1 game in hand, not 2, not 3, 1 against Crystal Palace. Now, here is the critical mathematical reality that every Arsenal supporter needs to understand. Manchester City can now reach a maximum of 87 points this season. That ceiling is set. That is the most they can achieve, even if they win every single remaining game, including that Crystal Palace fixture. 87 points. Arsenal, on the other hand, can still reach 91 points. 91. That means even at maximum City output, Arsenal have 4 points of breathing room at the very top of what is possible. For the first time this season, Arsenal are not just in the box seat. They are in control of their own destiny in the most complete sense. If Arsenal win all of their remaining 8 Premier League fixtures, they are champions. Full stop. It does not matter what City do. It does not matter if City win every single one of theirs. Arsenal win the league regardless. That is a position this club has not been in for a very, very long time. Now, let us break down the specific point scenarios around that Etihad showdown in April, because that match is the centerpiece of everything. Arsenal travel to Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium next month. And depending on the result of that fixture, the points requirements shift significantly. If Arsenal win at the Etihad, and I want you to really hear this, the Gunners would only need to collect 15 additional points from their other 7 remaining league games. 15 points from 7 games. That is an average of just over 2 points per game. That means Arsenal could afford to draw 2 of those 7 matches and still be champions. The pressure evaporates almost entirely. If the Etihad match ends in a draw, Arsenal would need 18 points from their other 7 league games, providing City win all of theirs and drop absolutely nothing further between now and the end of the season. That is a much tighter ask, but still entirely achievable for a squad of this quality and character. And if Arsenal were to lose at the Etihad, then Mikel Arteta's side would need to win every single one of their other 7 remaining league matches. 7 wins from 7, a perfect run-in. That would be the requirement. But here's the point I want to make loudly and clearly. Even in the worst-case Etihad scenario, a City win, Arsenal still have their destiny in their own hands. Win your other games. Win the title. That is remarkable. That is the position these players have earned. Let us talk about the squad situation because this matters enormously heading into a congested and critical period. Mikel Arteta is managing a squad that has been tested by injury throughout this campaign, and right now, several key names are on the treatment table. William Saliba twisted his ankle during recent action and missed the Brighton match. Arteta confirmed before the game that no unnecessary risk would be taken with the Frenchman, and rightly so. Saliba has been nothing short of exceptional this season, composed, authoritative, a leader at the heart of that defence, and getting him fully fit for the run-in is far more important than rushing him back prematurely. Martin Odegaard has also been absent, missing 2 consecutive matches with a knee flare-up first picked up at Brentford. Odegaard's influence on this Arsenal side when fit is immeasurable. His ability to dictate tempo, to find pockets of space, to unlock deep defensive blocks. We saw how much he was missed in those dropped points in February. Getting him back and keeping him fit between now and May is one of the single biggest factors in whether Arsenal lift this trophy. Mikel Merino remains out. Ben White continues to be sidelined with a muscular problem that has kept him out of multiple consecutive matches. And Kai Havertz is working his way back, coming off the bench against Chelsea and building fitness gradually. Now, some of those absences hurt. There is no denying that. But what strikes me about this Arsenal squad, this specific group under Arteta, is their ability to absorb those injuries without collapsing. The system does not depend on any one individual. The structure holds even when key figures are unavailable. And that collective resilience is itself a form of strength. The depth in this squad is genuinely different to what Arsenal had in previous near-miss seasons. Victor Gyökeres leading the line with that relentless pressing and finishing quality. Eberechi Eze providing creativity and unpredictability in the final third. Noni Madueke offering direct and dynamic wide options. Christian Norgard bringing physical presence and positional intelligence to midfield. Martin Zubimendi controlling tempo and recycling possession with quiet metronomic efficiency. Piero Hincapié providing versatility at left back. Arteta has options, real options, and that matters when you are fighting on multiple fronts with a congested schedule. Let us talk about that schedule because the fixture list is a story in itself. Arsenal's 8 remaining Premier League games include the trip to the Etihad, but, and this is a detail that cannot be overstated, every single other league game takes place in or around London. The Gunners leave the capital only once in their remaining Premier League fixtures. Once. And that is for the Manchester City match itself. That is a significant advantage. Not just in terms of travel fatigue, in terms of atmosphere, familiarity, home comforts for the squad. Arsenal know they can build momentum at the Emirates, play in front of their own supporters, and only step into genuinely hostile territory one time between now and the end of the season. That is a very different challenge to what City face. And then there are the cup competitions. Arsenal are still active in the FA Cup with a 5th-round tie against Mansfield Town in the immediate near future. They are in the Champions League round of 16 against Bayer Leverkusen. And the Carabao Cup final at Wembley looms on the horizon. 3 trophies are still within reach for this club. 3. Now, fixture congestion is real and it creates genuine risk. Champions League knockout football demands intensity, physicality, and focus at the very highest level. Bayer Leverkusen are a formidable European outfit. The Carabao Cup final is at Wembley and carries its own psychological and physical weight. And all of this sits alongside an 8-game Premier League run-in. But I want to flip that narrative for a moment, because winning the Carabao Cup final at Wembley, whoever Arsenal face in that showdown, would deliver more than just silverware. It would deliver momentum. It would deliver belief. It would deliver a psychological signal to every single player in that dressing room that this squad can handle pressure, that they can perform on the biggest stages, that they can win trophies, and that energy matters in the weeks that follow. Arsenal winning at Wembley before the Etihad trip, that is a story you want as an Arsenal fan. That is the version of events where the Gunners walk into Manchester already carrying the energy of champions. Now, let us look at what is happening at Manchester City, because their situation has changed fundamentally this week. For most of this season, City had a safety net. Even when Arsenal were performing well, there was always the knowledge that if City just won their games, they remained in control. That safety net no longer exists. After the Forest draw, City are no longer masters of their own fate in the championship race. If Arsenal win their games, Arsenal are champions. It is as simple and as devastating for City as that. Pep Guardiola's team has had a complicated season. The departures of Kevin De Bruyne, Kyle Walker and Edison in the summer represented the end of an era. Those were not just players leaving. They were pillars of an entire footballing dynasty at the Etihad. Replacing that kind of experience, that winning mentality embedded over years of domestic and European dominance, takes time. And you can see that in City's results this season. Tijani Reinders has been impressive in midfield. Ryan Ait-Nouri has brought genuine quality at left back. Ryan Cherki offers creativity and flair that City lacked following the departure of De Bruyne. But the squad is in transition, and transition, even for a club with City's resources, is uncomfortable. Their injury situation further complicates things. Josko Gvardiol is out for the remainder of the season with a tibial fracture, a devastating blow to their defensive options. John Stones remains sidelined, Mateo Kovacic is a long-term absentee, and most significantly, Erling Haaland missed both the Leeds game and the Forest game with a knee concern. Without Haaland, City lose their most direct and reliable route to goal. The Norwegian is one of the most clinical finishers in the history of this league. Without him, City had to work significantly harder for their goals against Forest, and still dropped points in a match they needed to win. Antoine Semenyo, signed in January from Bournemouth, scored and showed his ability. But Haaland's absence is felt immediately and viscerally in how City attack. Whether Haaland returns in time for the Champions League and then, critically, the Arsenal match in April remains to be seen. His availability for that Etihad showdown could shape the entire complexion of the title race in its final weeks. But right now, as things stand on March 6th, he is not fit. And that is a significant problem for Pep Guardiola. I want to spend a moment talking about something beyond the numbers, beyond the injuries and the squad depth and the fixture lists. I want to talk about what this moment means. Arsenal have been runners-up in the Premier League for 3 consecutive seasons. 3 years of coming agonisingly close. 3 years of that bitter, hollow feeling at the end of May when you have given everything, when you have played brilliant football, when you have watched your team grow into something genuinely beautiful and still fallen just short. This group of players knows what it feels like to be this close and not get across the line. They have lived it. They have suffered it together. And I genuinely believe that shared experience and that collective hunger born from repeated heartbreak is now fuel rather than weight. Mikel Arteta has built something remarkable at this football club. Not just a team, a culture, a mentality, an identity. Arsenal under Arteta press with purpose, defend with organisation, attack with intelligence and creativity, and compete with a resilience that this club had lost for too long. The additions this summer, Gyökeres, Eze, Zubimendi, Norgard, were not just about quality. They were about depth and competition for places. Arteta wanted a squad where nobody could be comfortable, where the standard was demanded every single day in training. And that is what he has built. The players who earned their place in this starting 11, Declan Rice driving forward from deep, Bukayo Saka delivering on the biggest stages consistently, Gabriel Magalhaes dominating aerially and setting the tone defensively. David Raya commanding his area with the composure of a goalkeeper who has genuinely matured into one of the best in this league. These are players who believe. And belief at this stage of a title race is not a small thing, it is everything. There is a question that every Arsenal supporter is asking themselves right now. Maybe you are asking it too. Is this finally the year? I have been in this conversation before. I know what it feels like to be optimistic in March and devastated in May. I am not here to offer you empty reassurance or to whip up emotion for the sake of engagement. You deserve better than that. This channel is built on truth. So here is the truth. Arsenal are in the strongest position they have been in a title race at this stage of the season in over 2 decades. The mathematics favour them clearly. The fixture list favours them meaningfully. The squad, even accounting for the injury concerns, is deeper and more capable than it has been in any of the previous near-miss campaigns. The manager is experienced, battle-tested, and still hungry. And the opposition, for the first time this cycle, is not in full control. None of that is a guarantee. Football does not deal in guarantees. The Etihad trip will test everything Arsenal have. The Champions League knockout rounds will drain legs and minds simultaneously. Injuries can change everything in a matter of seconds. And Premier League football in March, April and May is never, ever straightforward. But is this genuinely Arsenal's best chance? Yes. Absolutely yes. Without question, the pathway is clear. The tools are available. The belief is present. Now the players have to do what they have been building toward for 3 years. They have to finish the job. For me, the single most important thing Arsenal must do between now and the end of this season is simple to say and harder to execute. Win the games you are supposed to win. The Etihad will take care of itself. April will take care of itself. But between now and that Manchester City showdown, Arsenal cannot afford to drop unnecessary points. They cannot afford a Brentford. They cannot afford a Wolves. Every fixture on the domestic calendar before the Etihad must be treated as a cup final. Win them, bank the points, make the Etihad trip one where the pressure sits entirely on City's shoulders rather than Arsenal's. And if Arsenal walk into the Etihad needing only a draw to stay on course, or better still, needing nothing at all because the title is already secured, then the narrative of this season becomes something that every single person connected to this football club will remember for the rest of their lives. So let us bring this home. 7 points clear. 8 games remaining. Manchester City's ceiling is 87 points. Arsenal can still reach 91. The Gunners have been outside London only once in their final 8 league fixtures. The title is, and I want to say this carefully and accurately, genuinely in Arsenal's hands for the first time this season. If they beat City at the Etihad, they need 15 points from 7 games. If they draw, they need 18 from 7, assuming City are perfect. If they lose, they need to win every other game. But the biggest number of all is this one, 0. That is the number of times Arsenal need to rely on Manchester City dropping points, do your job, win your matches. And this title comes home to North London for the first time since 2004. I am Isaac. This is Isaac Arsenal Update. If you made it to the end of this video, you are exactly the kind of supporter this channel exists for. Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And turn on notifications because this title race is moving fast and I will be here every step of the way. Come on, Arsenal. Let us finish this.